Next time you're in Dollar Tree around the holiday season, head on over and grab some of these large wood ornament blanks. We're going to use these to create some amazing wall decor accents, and I'm going to be using not one, not two, but 3 of these for that. I'm picking Admiral Blue for my color scheme for these beautiful ornaments. By all means, use whatever color best fits your decor style this season. I only put 1 coat on these, and then I allowed them to completely dry. If you want to do more than 1 coat, by all means, you can right ahead. I was happy with these just as they were. Next, I'm grabbing some large stencils I had in my stash that I picked up from Amazon quite some time ago. I love damask and ornate things, and I felt like these would be perfect right on the front of these. You can paint your stencil in if you want. I'm just going to take some of my homemade texture paste. This is just a mixture of calcium carbonate, baking soda, and glue. Usually I'm able to mix up a batch and it stays for about 3 to 5 days. And people don't even try to ask me about the ratios, okay? Because I mix with love. Listen, just mix some stuff in a bowl and, cross your fingers and start spreading it on your ornament. Look how pretty. I used 1 stencil design on 1 of the ornaments and then the same on 2. And I made sure, obviously that they matched. You could color your texture paste if you want, or if you're painting, you can use obviously whatever color paint you would like for this. Whenever I'm doing this, I like to let this sit several hours, at least 3 to 4. And a good way that I can tell if it's done is I will take my fingernail and I will scratch over the surface. If there's no nail indents, then it's done. And you can either leave it as it is or put whatever kind of sealer you would like over it. You can leave your ornaments as is, but we're going to jazz ours up just a smidge and add some of this floral metal ribbon that you can pick up from Dollar Tree. If you don't see this at Dollar Tree and you have a Hobby Lobby local to you, they also sell metal lace or metal ribbon. You can pick it up from there as well. I used this to put around where our hangers kind of go because I'm not adding a hanger on the top of it. This is just going to be our added accent on here. And I just pushed them around and squeezed them tight around the back, and then it was time to bring on in the stapler. I'm gonna take this and just pop a staple in to each side just to ensure that this doesn't come off. I personally want these to be kind of flat up against the wall, so I'm just using a little bit of glue, a little piece of cardboard with twine for the hanger on the back. If you wanted to use the holes that were in the top, you go right ahead and do that. I love the way they look just like this. The large wood blanks at Dollar Tree aren't just good for single piece decor. I'm going to grab 4 of these snowflake pieces and we're going to stack them on top of each other to create a snowflake riser. To attach all of them, I'm just going to use my Quick and Thick Tight Bond and some clamps. And then I noticed that my Tight Bond was kind of clogged up. So I got my little Cricut tool here and grabbed my needle nose pliers and just unclogged it. For those of you who love oddly satisfying things like me, you're welcome. And for anybody else that was disturbed, my bad. Listen, we do weird stuff around here. Welcome. There are several different ways you can create risers or get that thicker effect. I decided to just cut out using all the beads and the tumbling blocks and popsicle sticks and whatever else I've used in the past and just pile these suckers right on top of each other. I've also noticed that when I'm doing stuff like this, if I use hot glue, even though it's helping to attach things quicker, it will leave gaps. So I just went ahead and used the Type On Quick and Thick and the clamps, and I really love how close the adhesion was on these pieces, along with the thickness of the overall riser itself. I grabbed some of my spackling and shoved a little bit in that hole we had here, so this way it didn't look like a bunch of ornaments. Use whatever legs you would like for your riser. For this one, especially since it's the holiday season, we're just going to use the little snowman pieces from Dollar Tree. I usually always have these in my stash and pop right on the bottom. For our main color, I'm just going to use some white paint, and I'm going to use a little bit of black paint to give some accents, mostly just around the edges and for the stencil we're going to put on the top. Yes, my stencil was not rinsed off, okay? I can't even remember the last time I used this stencil, but it was in my stash and I was like, it'd be good for putting more black paint right on top of it. And it was just fine. What a great way to use those large Dollar Tree wood blanks. Even if your seasonal decor section might be lacking at Dollar Tree, there are always some little gems to find in their wood blank section. I picked up 2 of these little wood boxes with the llamas, mostly because the other designs like this rainbow one, they have large gaps, and the llama, it didn't. The gaps were minimal, and I knew we'd be able to cover them up easily to create these covered candy dishes. There are a couple different ways you can fill in these holes, but first I want to start off by grabbing some painter's tape and just putting it on the back here. This is going to stop whatever we're putting in them holes from seeping through. You can use some spackling if you want, joint compound, caulking will work as well, but I like to use my little texture paste mixture here, just kind of smush right over. This stuff sands down really well. And that way I can have a nice non-chemically product on my piece. While that's drying, I grabbed some of my TDS Decoupage tissue paper and cut down a couple different designs. You can use napkins, you can use regular paper, whatever you would like for this. Decorate your box however you would like. I'm gonna be using some good old Mod Podge for my medium to decoupage little pieces I just cut out and put together all around our boxes. It took a couple hours for the top to completely dry, and then I just grabbed my finger sander and off camera over the trash can, I gave it a nice sand. Removed the painter's tape off the back and then did apply a layer of white paint over top just to seal in any of that mix and give us a nice clean base for our decoupage. After your pieces are dry, grab a little piece of sandpaper and go around the edges and get all the excess paper off your piece. I took some black paint and went around the edges and grabbed some little wood knobs I had in my stash to put right on the top and painted them black as well. Make sure you take a second, iron up the center of your box before you press it down. You don't want to accidentally put it in the wrong spot, try to pull it up. You will probably mess up your paper. There are always a ton of goodie options at Dollar Tree, so pick whatever you would like, pop it on in your little boxes, and put them around your house. in Dollar Tree's non-seasonal section, there's always some goodies to pick up to kind of get you in the mood to create seasonal decor, especially these new ceramic pieces. I absolutely love these things. And yarn, well, they got tons of colors, so I'm just gonna grab a green one. We're gonna take all these pieces and create a tabletop decor set, starting off by taking this yarn and wrapping it around just the top of the stars. You can cover your stars completely if you would like to. I decided to wrap mine and leave just a little bit of that wood hanging off right of the tips. Whenever I'm attaching fabric of any kind to wood, I really like to use tacky glue. And in this case, as always do, I just grabbed it and started squeezing. However, to my surprise, I didn't attach the lid the last time I used it. Oh, I think I ruined it. I think I saved it. I think I saved it. I think I saved it. Let it dry. Now you can paint these ceramic beauties on up if you would like to, but I wanted to go with a little modern feel, kept them just as they were, and grabbed some black ribbon and just attached them right to the center. You can absolutely leave these blank if you would like, but I had these little ornaments that I collect throughout the season, and I thought they would look just perfect right in the center. Next, I grabbed some floral foam and just shoved it right down into those ceramic pieces. And just like I hoped, that tacky glue dried clear and you could not tell that I dropped it all over this thing. So I just shoved it right on down into our little ceramic piece. I grabbed a napkin, used that instead of messy moss, and then added some greenery. I'm not sure if you see the little wood 3D craft kits that they have at Dollar Tree, but I always thought it would be a really cute idea to use them in floral foam and add them into your arrangements. So I just put a couple pieces in here for a little something something, and I absolutely adore how these turned out. For this quick and easy wall decor piece, I grabbed one of Dollar Tree's large DIY star signs. In one of these little nesting boxes, I'm going to just take some black paint and give both of them a nice coat. You can absolutely use whatever color you would like for yours. Once they were both completely dry, I grabbed a large stencil and placed it right over top of the whole star. You can use paint if you would like, but I'm going to take some of my handmade texture paste and give this a nice coat. You can also mix in acrylic paint whenever you're doing texture, give it a nice color. I happen to like it just the way that it is for this project. When you're all done with that, peel it right on off and then allow this to dry for a few hours. I'm using Titebond Quick and Thick to put a nice little layer on the back of our box that we're attaching to the star, and then it was time to bring on in the stapler. I attached the box and this flipped it upside down and, was mindful, making sure that I was putting the staples in the right spot. For the shelf portion, I wanted to just use one of Dollar Tree's LED candles. Lately, I have been in love with adding TDS Rub on transfers onto candles. Been adding them onto the LED ones, adding them onto the regular ones. I've just been really loving popping different things onto candles. Now, keep in mind, transfers are not meant to go on wax, so it does take a little bit of elbow grease, but with some patience, usually the LED candles I find are the easiest to plop them onto, and I love how they just add a little something extra into your decor. Absolutely love how this whole piece turned out. We are going to grab some Dollar Tree's hanging snowflakes and a wood plank to create our own unique wall decor. Take this idea and remix it using whatever colors work best for your home and your decor. I'm going to just take some black and paint a nice coat all over just the plank section and allow that to dry. While it's drying, I'm going to take the snowflakes and cut them all off the twine and then grab some white paint and paint them all white. When they were done drying, I grabbed some more twine and then cut little pieces to attach to the top of each one of the little snowflakes. Did not reattach the snowflakes themselves. I put them to the side and then went and grabbed one of my stencils that were in my stash. I did order this off Amazon for anybody that was wondering, and I put it in the spot just to kind of measure where that was going to end up. Then I grabbed some metal lace. You could use ribbon for this if you would like, and I cut a couple sections and applied it right to the end and made sure to also cover over those holes that we don't want anybody to see. I cut up some greenery and stuck them into the metal lace. You can absolutely glue them down, but I knew I was going to be putting berries over top of them and I waited to add the glue. I then flipped it over and added the snowflakes onto the back with a little bit of hot glue and a little piece of cardboard. Then when that dried, I flipped it back over and added on those berries. If you want to use paint, you go right ahead. I'm just taking a little bit of my homemade texture paste and going to smear it right on the Believe section of the stencil. I cut the little Santa sleigh section out and put it right on the top and then added more of that texture paste. Believe it or not, this only took a couple minutes to make and it absolutely looks like something you would purchase in a store. If you're looking for more Christmas inspiration, check out this video right here. And as always, people, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. And until next time.